Hi, my name's Jasmine and I'm from Melbourne Muscle Medics. In this video we're going to go through some stretches to help with low back pain. Now initially when we think of low back pain we want to stretch the low back, but I'm going to start off with stretching some surrounding muscles that can impact on how our lower back is feeling. So we're going to start off with our hip flexors in the front of the hips here. So I'll get you to come into a kneeling position with one leg forward. Now from here we're going to tuck our tailbone under, so a bit of a pelvic tilt. Just from this positioning alone you may feel a start of a stretch just in the front of the hip, and then a very slight lean back through your torso might increase that stretch there. If you're still not feeling it enough, then you can add it over leaning towards your forward leg and really trying to lengthen this area here. Now this muscle that we're stretching is called our psoas, and it attaches to the front of the spine and comes over to the top of the leg. Its job, when it shortens, is to lift our leg, lift the leg. So when you're in a seated position, that muscle's in its shortened state and can get quite tight. So when you go to stand up and it starts to stretch out, because it attaches onto the low back, onto the spine, it can feel like lower back pain because it's pulling the back forward. So we can lengthen this one out by tucking the pelvis, slightly back through the torso, and then leaning towards the forward leg. So especially important to do this stretch if you've been seated, especially for a long period of time, as that muscle can just kind of stiffen up and shorten from being in that position. Now as you breathe, each time we breathe out, our muscles start to relax a little bit. You can lengthen into the stretch a little bit further, just gently pressing forward through your hips, and you can just feel that stretch increase. Alright, let's come over to the other side. So popping the other leg forward, that tuck of the tailbone, slight lean back through the torso. If that's enough, just stay there. If you would like to increase it, leaning over towards that forward leg. Keeping our breathing nice and even and nice and deep. And as we breathe out, our bodies naturally relax as we breathe out, so that's our chance to deepen the stretch even further. So just that gentle push through the hip, just to really lengthen and increase. Now this is one that we see a lot in the massage clinic as people come in with low back pain, but we often will treat the hip flexors just because of the positioning that they're in. If they're in a seated job, it's highly likely that the hip flexors are contributing to what they're feeling in their lower back. Alright, now the next one we're going to do is actually for the glutes. So glutes and lower back are very closely related to one another. If one's tight, highly likely the other one will be as well. So I'm going to get you to come into a plank position. That's right, we're working out. On the floor, hands and toes. Then you're going to bring one knee up in between your hands. The foot comes across in front of the body. And then we're going to drop down. This is called the pigeon, or the glute pigeon. So dropping and relaxing your hips into the stretch, and we're stretching the glute of the front leg, the one that's underneath me here. Now when we're in this stretch, we can just gently rock from side to side, and you're going to feel that stretch change. There's lots of different glute muscles, and so this is just slightly changing those angles, slightly changing which portion of the glute that we are stretching. So as you rock from side to side, if you find one area in particular that's tighter than the other, you can stay there. Otherwise, just keep that gentle kind of sway, that rock going on. Again, thinking about the breathing as you breathe out, really just trying to allow your hips to relax, melting into the floor. Now with this one, it is a fairly intense stretch, so if this is too much for you, coming up onto your hands can take a little bit of pressure off. But if you can, really drop down onto those elbows, allow your body weight to sink into this stretch. Alright, and when we're ready to change sides, stepping back into your plank and bringing the other knee up, foot goes across in front of the body, and we drop down into our stretch. Relaxing through the hip, really feel that lengthening through the glute area, and just that gentle rock and sway from side to side to get our different portions of the glute muscle. We use our glutes for so much throughout the day. They're such a big, strong, powerful muscle. We always kind of forget about them, take them for granted. But like I said, they work really closely with the low back. So if you're feeling lower back pain, glutes will often be a really helpful one to stretch. There's heaps of different ways you can stretch the glutes, so if you know a different stretch, if this one's not quite working for you, jump into that glute stretch as well. Alright. And then now we're going to stretch our lower back. So I'll get you to come into a quadruped position on all fours, hands and knees. And we're just going to gently sit back on our heels, stretching forward. Now what I want you to do is I want you to imagine that I'm grabbing onto your hands and pulling you forward, and you're trying to sit back against that pull. You can open up your knees to the side if that helps. You get a little bit lower. Bringing your chin towards your chest and imagining I'm pulling on you forward and you're trying to sit back. Now you should feel this through the back, particularly the lower back. If you've got someone around to help you, they can just gently apply some pressure to your lower back to help keep your hips down as you sink into this stretch. Nice deep breaths, and as you breathe out, trying to increase it, just creep those fingers forward that little bit further. Keeping your chin tucked in, you can rest your forehead on the ground if that helps. Now we're going to take both hands and take them over to the right hand side, really dropping into your left shoulder. Now what this is going to do is it's going to increase our stretch through the left hand side of our back. So hands to the right, and then angle your left shoulder down towards the ground. Keeping those hips as close to your feet as you can, as close to your heels as you can. Really lengthening out that left hand side. Keeping those nice deep breaths. Allowing your body to stretch and lengthen as you breathe out. Then taking both hands over to the left, dropping that right shoulder towards the ground, keeping your head relaxed, increasing your stretch through the right hand side of your body. Nice deep breaths, relaxing as you breathe out. Feeling those muscles letting go as you allow them to lengthen. Our muscles are stubborn, they do need time. So we try and hold each stretch for at least 30 seconds, just to really allow them the time to let go. And then coming back to the middle, this time you're going to take your left hand and you're going to put it underneath your right arm. I'm going to add some rotation, so you're trying to reach through and under, twisting through. Even try to lay your left shoulder on the ground if it can reach. So allowing that twist, the rotation through the back. And our last one, coming over, taking your right hand underneath the left and reaching out as far as you can, twisting, rotating through the spine. Nice deep breath to continue that lengthening and relaxing of our muscles. And then coming back to the center. Bringing that chin into your chest, reaching your arms forward. Hopefully you can go that little bit further forward than when we first started. And then when you're ready, just gently coming back up. That's it for this video, guys. I hope that helps any lower back pain that you may be experiencing. Feel free to do this video as often as you can throughout the day, just to really help open up and relax through the lower back and the front of the hips as well. And as always, if you need a massage, please contact us and book in.